And we are here today at the Veterans Affairs Medical Center, located 7305 North Military Trail, Riviera Beach, at the, I already said, Veterans Affairs Medical Center. Today's date is February the 12th, 2013, and I'm here doing the interview. My name is Carlton Cartwright. I'm the Executive Director for the Children's Coalition Incorporated. And our subject today is
Shone Johnson.
Okay, Mr. Johnson. And let's see, it's just Shone and I. And let's see, okay. What branch of the service were you in, Shone?
United States Navy.
Okay. And did you serve in any wars?
Boots on ground, no.
Okay. That's fine. And what rank were you when you separated?
E6.
Okay. Where did you serve?
Several locations.
Okay.
Spent 20 years. The Naval Air Station Mayport,
Mm-hmm.
Florida. Naval Station Jacksonville,
Right.
in Florida. Naval Station Cecil Field. Naval Station Rota, Spain. Naval Station Sigonella, Sicily.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
20-year career.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Well, you obviously you enlisted, correct?
Yes, I was.
Okay. Why did you pick that branch of the service?
Just out of between that and the Air Force, and I ended up choosing the Navy long term.
Okay. Okay. Where were you living at the time?
When I joined?
When you joined, yeah.
In New York. Freeport, New York.
Oh, okay. Out on Long Island.
Yes, on Long Island.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Okay. What were you doing at that time before you came into service?
Let's see. Finished high school, did some carpentry work, mechanical work. I think the last thing I was doing was building cabinetry.
Okay.
Working for a design company to build cabinetries for our home.
Okay. And do you recall your first days of service? You did your paperwork in New York, right?
I did.
Okay. Where? I'm just curious.
Basically, let's see, did the service in Freeport, New York, and then went to Brooklyn to do my oath of admission.
Okay. And then where did you go from there?
From there, I went to boot camp in San Diego,
Mm-hmm.
California. And when I completed there, I came back here to Mayport, Florida, working at the Aviation Intermediate Maintenance Department as a aviation electronics technician.
So that was your first duty base?
That was my first duty station.
Where?
In Mayport, Florida. After the boot camp was in San Diego.
Yeah. So tell me, what was the boot camp like?
Different.
Different from compared to what?
A lot of things in life just changed. Waking up, first experience, waking up really early.
What is that, 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock?
4-ish. To a garbage can.
That was reveille?
That was reveille.
Okay.
Some inspiring words from my company commander.
I bet. How long was your basic training? How long was it?
I don't remember exactly. I guess it was about 8 weeks, 10 weeks, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And you went to tech school after that?
Went to tech school in Millington, Tennessee, as for aviation electronics school. That was for 6 months.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And what was that like? What were your instructors like in basic training besides the garbage can?
Oh, one of them was we had a good cop, bad cop. One was both of them everybody seamen. I remember one of them was a sonar technician, and the other one was I believe he was a machinist mate. No, he was a boatswain's mate.
Oh, okay.
Both first classes, sixes. Both of them were Easy to get along with. One was more stern than the other.
Okay.
Was
Good cop, bad cop?
Yeah, very attention to detail oriented.
Uh-huh.
The other one was a little bit more flexible and lower kilo stress.
Uh-huh. Low kilo stress. Okay. All right.
Lots of marching.
Lots of marching.
Lots of marching. And learning to polish your boots, fold your clothes. Went to sleep. When it was taps, go to sleep. Rarely get up. And found that it's faster to sleep on top of your rack than to sleep in it.
Okay. Yeah, just didn't have time to waste making the bed, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I understand. How was the food?
Actually, this food was overall was very good.
Okay.
Yeah, very good. Basics. Noodles, sometimes turkey and noodles. Sometimes there was spaghetti with meat sauce, turkey, ham and noodles. Plenty of different fruits. Water or juice.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was well-rounded.
Overall,
You get vegetables, right?
sure.
Okay.
And the vegetables.
Okay. All right, so the tech school, you said tech school was like 8 to 10, what was it?
6 months.
6 months.
Yeah.
That was 24 weeks. Okay, so yeah, what did that entail?
That's entail pretty much learning the absolute basics of electronic theory, learning components, learning how to how each component worked that generally made up electronic circuits, basic circuitry, learning some things about various, I guess you call it transistor theory. I don't want to bore you too much.
No. It's all very interesting, believe me.
For reverse bias diodes, the material makeup of components that made them react the way they did. Like I said, a lot of troubleshooting time and recognizing parts, safety.
Okay.
Lots and lots of safety. For worrying about electronic shocks and things like that, safety procedures.
Got it. Okay. So how did you feel? What got you through? Basic training. I know it was challenging, right? It was very rigorous training.
Well, it was, but part of it, I guess, the biggest challenge for me was getting to the point of learning remembering the theory that you're only as strong as your weakest link. And there is absolutely 100% a team concept all the time.
Right.
The unit is more important than one.
Gotcha. Teamwork. All right. So after tech school, you said you went where?
To Naval Air Station, Mayport.
Mayport.
It's right here in Mayport, Florida. Jacksonville. It's right up north.
On the eastern seaboard.
Eastern seaboard
Yeah.
by Kings Bay is a little bit, I don't know, probably 30 miles or so north of Mayport.
Okay. And how long were you there?
3 years.
Okay. And what was your job there?
Working there as a aviation electronics technician and a micro miniature repair technician. Probably 8 to 10 months into my job, they asked people to go to a micro miniature repair school, which is learning to replace electronic components on circuitry.
Right.
And I went to school for that, so I did both. And I
Okay.
worked on intermediate level maintenance, which means that instead of working directly on an aircraft, they take the various parts off the aircraft and bring it into a clean building and repair the components, the big components, all the micro miniature components inside, kind of like your television set.
Right. And so you were there for how long?
3 years.
And where'd you go after that?
From there, I went to Naval Air Station Sigonella
In Italy?
in Italy, to say and say Sicily.
In Sicily.
In Sicily.
Gotcha. Okay, so you were off the coast. I got you.
Yeah.
And how long were you stationed there?
First time was about 4.5 years.
First time. So you went back later on?
2 tours.
2 tours. Okay, and the second time?
3 years.
Were they back to back?
No.
No. So the first time, what was your job?
The job was the same both times. I worked in 2 different workspaces. One is a anti-submarine warfare department. The other one was the micromanager and cable and connector repairs workspaces. That's repairing the components and then fabricating various cables, engine connection cables, various things like that, or repairing them as needed.
Okay. All right. Let's see. And where did you go when you left there?
I came back to the U.S. and I went to NES Cecil Field.
Where was that at?
That Cecil Field is on the western side of Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh.
Yeah. If you look at a map, the Navy War Station is about the center of Jacksonville, and
right.
then Cecil Field is on the western side.
Okay. And what did you do there?
Same thing: aviation, electronics, intermediate maintenance level repairs and connector repairs.
Okay. And then were you stationed?
My life was very exciting. I went back to NES Jax for a short time.
In Sicily?
In Mayport.
Oh.
I mean, in Jacksonville, excuse me.
Uh-huh.
Because if you look at the history, I can't remember the exact date, but Navy West Station Cecil Field closed down. It was closed down during the BRAC closure.
The what?
The BRAC closure.
What is that?
The Congress makes a decision on what bases need to stay open and close for downsizing. And Naval Air Station Cecil Field was one of those that was on the closure list.
And you said BRAC. How do you spell that, BRAC?
I believe it's BRAC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So then after that closed?
After that closed, I went to Naval Air Station Jacksonville for a very brief time as a transit period, probably 2 months, and then back to Naval.
Okay. So, and then how long were you at Mayport this time?
About a year.
Uh-huh.
And after there, back to Sicily again.
Okay. So throughout and now how long you were in Sicily this time?
That time I was there for about approximately 3 years.
Okay. And then?
No changes in jobs, same jobs.
All right. And was that the last one? Was that your last tour?
That's the last tour in Sicily.
Okay. Then where'd you go after that?
Naval Air Station, Road to Spain.
In Spain?
Yes.
What part of Spain was that?
That is southern Spain.
Mm-hmm.
It's the capital city that's approximately an hour away from Rota. Is a place called, some of you may have heard of, it's called Seville, or Spanish say Sevilla, in Spanish, in Spain.
Right.
And I was there for a year and a half initially.
Right.
And this is where my career made a change.
What happened?
That was another base, another area, not the whole base, but the job, the command, was scheduled for closure.
Right.
So I then took what we call an out-of-rate assignment, which means I don't change my job descriptions, my enlisted classification codes, but I do actually change the job that I do.
Okay.
And I actually went to school to become an addictions therapist.
Okay. That was a change.
That was a very dramatic change.
You know a lot of it. So anyway, was that your last? There was more.
Oh yeah.
Next.
Okay, I'm gonna back up slightly for a moment.
Sure.
You asked about my jobs in Rota, Spain. I worked as the aviation electronics maintenance, and then later on, I became the quality assurance supervisor for the maintenance department, which pretty much entails ensuring quality assurance for maintenance that goes on in the department, that it goes out before it goes out to aircraft. If there's a question for needs clarification for various components or instructions and different things to go to follow as far as maintenance procedures, that type of thing.
Right.
And that job was also closed down. So then that's when I went to school to become an addictions therapist, which is the title here. So I came back to the U.S. For a little over 3 months, give or take, somewhere around there, and went to Point Loma, California, to the Naval School of Health Sciences.
What?
The Naval School of Health Sciences.
Oh, okay. And where was that located in California?
That's in Point Loma, California.
Where? Where's that? North, south?
Point Loma.
By San Francisco or LA?
No, it's San Diego area.
Okay.
Yeah, San Diego. And from there, went back to Spain for a brief time, and working as an addiction therapist, helping various military personnel, naval and Air Force, saw some Air Force and Marine Corps personnel, if they've had any issues with alcohol.
Okay.
And any other things of that nature.
Okay, drugs, alcohol, whatever. Got it. Was that your last duty station? Where'd you go after that?
Okay, last duty station was...
No, where's the next one? I don't want to miss one.
This is
the next and last.
Last one transferred from there and went ahead and went to Key West, Florida.
Right.
Working in the Naval Hospital as an addiction therapist.
Right.
Same job. Just expanded roles with some of the personnel from Army, Coast Guard, because there was a major Coast Guard component in Key West, along with the Naval and a few Air Force personnel.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, so now, you told me you hadn't seen any combat, correct?
No, sir.
All right. So, did you always have everything that you needed, supplies-wise?
Yes. Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. What were the people like in Italy? What was that? Yeah.
Military or the...
Both.
Okay.
Both. What are we gonna do? Civilians first, or are we gonna do military?
Well, the military people are overall very friendly.
Peers and officers.
Yes. Yeah. Pretty friendly and always strive with a lot of unit cohesiveness. Off time, sometimes you get together with friends and eating barbecue and different things, but there's times we worked a lot of, normally 8 hours. For me, it could be anywhere from 8 hours to 12. Some days with watches included. Right. 24 hours.
Wow.
Which is, that's common.
Yeah.
And that would be that. And civilians were pretty interesting people, very pleasant. The civilian people, by and large, my experience was outstanding. They seemed to really enjoy having interactions with American people all in all, and strongly encourage you to learn the language. Right. And sometimes with people that I knew would have a little fun with you. Okay. And make sure you were learning. Okay. What does that mean? One of my first experiences. I laugh about it. It's pretty funny. I bought myself a car. Your orientation to the cultural change. They'll take you to Catania, which is the major city in the, I guess, the western part, I believe it is. Palermo is on the other end of the island, right, which is familiar, and Catania is on the opposite end of the island, and where that's close to where the Naval Air Station Signal is located. During orientation, they'll take you out into the community, and they'll teach you a few words of Italian generally, and they'll also have you buy some items. And sometimes most people will struggle with the language barrier, but they want you to interact culturally. Right. Later on, I bought myself a vehicle. Yeah. And went to someone that was supposed to speak English, so it would be easy for me when I needed a repair. Right. So the person purposely didn't speak English to me for we carried on the conversation for about 20 minutes, and I'm struggling to tell him what I need repaired. Right. At the end of my part of the conversation, he looked at me quite frankly with an odd look, And then he said, okay, what else do you need? And then he told me, he said, you did okay. Continue to have fun. Don't take yourself too seriously. And try to learn as much Italian as you can when you enjoy your time.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. How was the food in Italy?
Outstanding.
Okay.
Outstanding.
And so while you were there twice, correct?
Yes.
So where else did you travel around Europe?
A little bit. I went to, let's see, a lot of places around Sicily. I went to Palermo, Catania, Acciatrezza, Acireale, Rome, Venice, Pisa, Florence, and Monaco. Some of the other places in the Amalfi Coast.
Okay.
And then in Spain later on.
Yeah. So in Spain, did you get to France?
I drove through very briefly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Drove through.
Drove through.
Just on the way
from Sicily up through Monaco, a little tip of France there, Cannes, and then back down to through Spain, back down to southern Spain.
to Seville.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
To Rota, outside of Seville. Yeah.
So what did you do for entertainment? You know, you have a 20-year career, correct?
Yes.
So what did you do? And
visit with friends, some various clubs, grill, eat with friends, socialize with local. Had several local friends in Sicily, and would spend time with them. Eat with their families sometimes, including my particular landlord that I lived, because I didn't live on the I lived out in the economy. So every once in a while I would maybe have once every 6 months, depending. I may have dinner with my landlord, my second landlord, excuse me. And that's about it.
Right. So you lived on the economy.
I did.
Yeah. How did it go in Mayport? You know, when you were stationed around Jacksonville. You know, what did you do? And did you stay in touch with your family?
Yes. Stayed in touch with my family. Probably go home once every, depending when I was stateside, probably once every 6 months or so. Visit. I have family in New York. Would visit with them. Have family in outside of Gary, Indiana. Visit with them once every year or every other year. And that was a little bit less frequent when I was overseas because there's a very long flight involved coming back and forth. And I guess that was that.
Okay. Okay. Did you ever see any casualties, or were there any, service-related accidents, disabilities?
Well, periodically you may have somebody in the electronics field end up getting shocked, electrical shocks, because we worked on aviation equipment. One person got injured because he didn't follow a safety procedure and amputated his thumb.
Oh Lord.
Let's see. Some other people had some other not combat-related accidents, being out in town, or one person got in a car accident and was killed, that I recall, and that was a little difficult because you get a personal letter from the family members asking you about information about their son who wanted a full view of what his life was like in that instance, and writing letters back to the family that they're requesting any information that you can give them about what his life was like different when he was away from them.
Right.
Yeah, so.
Right.
And one of my friends was in another squadron and had a mishap where the whole crew got lost.
The whole crew?
The whole crew. Helicopter went down. It's 4 personnel. One of my friends was one of the people that died.
Oh boy. Sad. Where was that? Was that overseas?
That was in Sicily. Yep. The one where writing to the family and the mishap. One of the squadrons there, not with one of the squadrons that was stationed at the time, or the squadron.
Okay. Okay. Okay, well, all in all, did you feel, a lot of pressure or stress at any particular given time?
Sure. There's always stress to meet the mission, and you need to you work like for a period of time. I worked night shift for a long period of time. Various things I seem to do really well at night shift. But one of the inherent things with the night shift is that if there's maintenance things that need to be done and they're not complete by a certain time, or an aircraft has a priority mission, then you stay there and get the repairs done so that they can the other people can get the aircraft ready to meet the mission.
Right.
So that could easily turn between even my normal 8-hour day could easily turn into 11 or 12 hours if something like that happens, because there's no maintenance parts in the supply system, and they need to. I guess that's one of the challenges when they did some budgetary cuts. Congress did.
What's that about now? You said it was
Maintenance components. Sometimes you'd need to. Sometimes you'd have the complete circuit board,
right,
and then other times you need to troubleshoot to a component.
Mm-hmm.
And if the components are not there, then you need to order them. And then sometimes you may have a circuit card, or it may need to be repaired to go back in a larger component so it can go in the aircraft.
Okay.
If they didn't have anything in the supply system, you needed to stay there and repair it until it got repaired, because they may have had a 7 or 8 o'clock flight and they have to do pre-flights, and it has to be, you got to have something ready for them so they can go meet their mission.
So you wound up having to do overtime without getting paid.
Oh, sure.
You got paid.
That's just dedication.
That was part of the job.
That's part of the job. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, tell me 2 of the most memorable things that happened to you in your service career.
Wow. Actually, one of them. Let's see. I guess actually making 3rd class, making E4.
Okay.
Because that's a moment when you're given some more responsibility.
Okay.
And traditionally, they have a tradition of tacking on your crow.
Tacking on what?
It's called tacking on your crow.
What does this mean?
Okay, that's a naval tradition that goes back several hundred years.
Oh boy.
And what they generally do is inform you that you've made your next rank.
Uh-huh.
And then you have what we call petty officer NDOC, because you went from a non to an NCO. You transitioned to an NCO, and you have petty officer NDOC, and they tell you about some things that you're not, going to be responsible for, just from a position of rank, and then you grow into that, and that was a really memorable moment.
Okay.
Second one was I was fortunate enough because of my location that I would watch my daughter be born.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I said it's kind of a military, non-military moment.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a lot along the way, but those are 2 of the major ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you keep a diary?
No.
Where'd you go when you went on leave? Just home? Just back to where? Where was New York or Florida or what?
Sometimes my leave was back stateside. Sometimes my leave was just off, and I'd venture out into the different areas of the community.
Okay.
And spend some time there.
Just curious, did you go to North Africa at all?
No, I
Okay.
did not.
All right. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay. All right. Do you recall the days that, the time? I'm sure you do. Tell us about the time, what was going on in your life when you started to separate. I guess you had done your 20 years, so you getting ready to retire.
Mm-hmm.
How did you feel?
Mixed emotions, unknown, some anxiety about I knew what I wanted to do. I made a decision on that, and a little anxiety about where I would be, because some parts of me wanted to stay in Key West and continue to work there and serve sailors and things of that nature, and then or go to California or go to England or a couple of different places that were on my list. But
really?
Yeah, because I had basically my options were stay in aviation electronics, which I could have easily done, or continue as a therapist, which I presently am.
Right.
And I chose to continue to serve this way and work as a therapist.
Okay. All right. I know that you probably. Oh, yeah. Oh, well, I'll get it from you afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
But at any rate, so how did you separate? Where were you when you separated anyway?
Key West, Florida.
Okay, you were in Key West.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you do immediately after that?
Got in my car, packed my things. My family and I decided to come here, and we just I was going to take a vacation either here in the U.S. or go to Europe for some time. And I stayed around here, and I got a phone call to come here to work. So I just stayed around here until I started working, which was 2 months before my official retirement date.
Okay.
And I just stayed around and started working here a few days before my actual retirement date.
All right. Wow. Okay. All right. Did you use your GI Bill?
No, not yet.
Oh, you haven't?
No, haven't used it yet.
Okay.
I did some. I was able to use the tuition assistance,
Right.
and did some of my school work while I was still in the military. So I'll still do some other things along the way with my GI Bill.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Excellent. Well, we know what you're doing for a career after the military, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Are you affiliated with any veterans organizations?
Not really officially, no.
Okay. All right. Well, just a few more questions. How did the military affect your life? About how's your life been influenced?
Far more well-rounded, a lot more patient, and just it's easy. I guess the most easy way to say is just a real different perspective on the world in general, and how precious and valuable freedom is. And I know and realize that it's not free. People take a lot of things for granted, but it's not free.
Right.
When 9/11 hit, I remember where I was at. So
Where were you?
I was still in Sicily, and a lot of things went on. But one thing that happened was people basically went into overdrive as far as work goes, and nobody cared.
Okay.
You could have worked for a week straight; it wouldn't have mattered.
What does that mean? I mean, explain that to me.
Well, looking on the news and realizing that the towers were hit here in the U.S.
Right.
and figuring out that was a direct attack on the U.S., we knew that the threat levels and alerts would get raised, and people were really, couldn't believe. I couldn't believe that somebody in any place in the world was that bold.
Gotcha.
So that's inspiring to say, well, we have to aircraft are going to be launched. There's going to be some more operations going on, and didn't worry about it. Like, we need to work. We need to get some things, continue to get some things done. And if I need to work a week straight, then I work a week straight. It doesn't matter.
Gotcha.
It just doesn't.
Okay. Well, I would. Are you still in reserve or anything? No.
No, fully retired. I am after 20 years of service. I am retired.
Gotcha.
from the military.
Okay, well, I'm gonna thank you for the interview, and also want to thank you for your service. Okay? Yes, sir. Okay.